and lilac is my favorite flower. My father used to we had lilac, like almost like shrub trees all around our house up in Connecticut. And I will tell you, the yard, my father would have them near windows, and he'd open the windows and you could smell lilac in the room. Unbelievable. If you want to order these today, all right, we're giving you the one, it's called a 1-piece Reblooming Fragrant Lilac. You have your choice of color. It comes in either the pink, or it also comes in the traditional purple. This is the one that we had at our house. Really? Already? 700 left in purple and 1,200 in pink. When you order it, look at what you're gonna get. You're getting a really substantial lilac bush, and here we go. Oh my gosh, it reminds me of home. It reminds me of home. Beautiful green foliage, and these just will come back year after year after year. They're only $24.95. They're already getting ready to sell out. I gotta get Rochelle out here. Rochelle, my favorite smell or scent. I like lilac, then I like honeysuckle, and then I like gardenia. Lilac number one.
Yeah, I think mine's similar. I love roses too, I have to say. And I love some of the herbal stuff that we have, like the catmint and the lavender and all that. But this is really special. I mean, look at this. This is such a good deal. I mean, this is a decent size here. I mean, it's easily a foot tall, just out of the pot. And this is what's going to be coming to your garden in your home. This beautiful lilac. You get to choose the color, of course. I love them both. They are both stunning. They're both going to get these big, beautiful flowers in the late spring, early summer time frame. That's when they bloom in their original flush. But if you've grown lilacs, you know that one of the limitations of lilacs is that original flush of flowers maybe lasts a couple, 2-3 weeks. And then that's it. Then it's just a big old nice shrub. It's amazing while it happens, but it doesn't last. That's why these are particularly special. These are reblooming fragrant lilacs. So you're going to get that big flush at the normal lilac bloom time, but then you're going to continue to get flushes of flowers throughout the season. They'll kind of come and go. And unlike a lot of, reblooming is a big goal in the horticulture industry, especially with something like lilacs that we all love, love, love so much. We want to try and extend that season as much as we can in the breeding. And sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad. Like if we get a rebloomer and maybe it'll just bloom like a couple. This is like a legit rebloomer. It's not going to get as big a flush as it gets the first round, but those rebloomings are actually going to be, notable. They're not going to be like kind of wimpy like they can sometimes be. So that's the real beauty of this particular variety is your rebloom is going to be substantial as well as that, gorgeous initial flush. My favorite thing though, like you said, Guy, I love the scent and I love the way these flowers look. Cutting them and bringing them indoors. Oh, yeah. These are great for that. I mean, just so beautiful. You can't, it'll smell up your whole house. It's like the gardenia.
They are.
You just, lilac season.
My dad, my dad would go outside and he would trim some and he'd bring them in, and my mother would have the little bowl of water, and the house would just smell amazing. And it was funny because, my dad was not really, he was an athletic football coach, all that stuff, but man, he loved to garden. He loved plants. I think because it was 10 kids in his family. They were very poor, and he never got to experience that when he was younger. So he did it with my mom, and they would bring him inside. I also like, they would bring him inside. The whole house would smell nice. I love how lilac, they do this little thing where when they start to grow, they kind of lean a little. I don't know if you can see right here. See what they do? They're so full of flowers that they come out and they kind of curve when they come down. They almost hang, right? Almost like, like honeybells kind of,
They nod over.
Yeah, they nod over. And all you need to do is trim it about 6 inches back and then put it in a shallow vase. And I'm telling you, they will smell up your house all day. They are absolutely beautiful. They're great in a powder room. You got people coming over and you don't want to spray stuff. Put some lilac in there, all right? Same with some of the other plants that we have. They are so beautiful. I have to emphasize, that's the purple. We also have them in the pink. There you go. Thanks, you guys. Perfect. So there they are in the pink. This is one that I like that you're getting in a pot because it'll already probably have some little buds on it. And it's so exciting. If you've never smelled lilac growing wild, it's controlled, obviously, in your pot. It's unbelievable. It's a great mix. It's hard to describe the scent. It reminds me of some of the other really saturated, deep, scented flowers, but it also has a little bit. I don't know if it's the orchidy smell that I smell in it, but it's got a really interesting but alluring sort of a scent. It's not overpowering, it's just beautiful. I mean, that's why it's my favorite.
Yeah.
It's not, I wouldn't call it necessarily feminine perfumey. You know what I mean? It's just beautiful.
No, it's clean. I would say it's clean. And to me, it kind of, I don't know, it smells like that season where everything is really fresh still. You know, the heat of the summer hasn't fully set in.
Yes.
And it's just all nice and like growing and verdant, and it's just lovely. I adore lilacs for all the same reasons you do, Guy. They smell so amazing. This is, just by the way, I want to say, this is one of the plants that we offer at Leaf and Petal that really favors the northern gardeners. A lot of our plants sort of maybe favor the southern gardeners. These are a plant that just does so well up here in New England or Connecticut, where you're from, Guy. They are classics of this region, and that's because they do want to have a cold snap in order to make those blooms really come on. So if you live somewhere where it doesn't ever really get cold, just know that that is something that is gonna, you know, it'll be okay for a few years, but it'll probably dwindle in the blooming after a little while. So, you know, if you get enough of a cold, this wants to have that cold snap. That's what triggers it into doing all those blooms. So anywhere north of where it like never gets cold is a really great place for this plant. The other thing that's good about this particular variety is that these don't get super huge. These ones can grow in a container. If you've seen some of the lilacs that grow around here, they're just enormous. They're as big as your house. These are not them. These are going to be, you know, much more contained, a little more dainty and tidy, you know, more in the 4-foot range in all directions. And so you can have them in a container if you have a smaller garden, or you can, you know, plant them out in your garden. That's absolutely what I'm going to be doing. These are absolutely gorgeous. You know, you'll be looking forward to lilac season, as you know, we all do up here in New England. Lilac season, well, you know, when they're, you know what it is. You know by your nose, by the way. You don't necessarily notice them first with your eyes. It's like, wait a minute, what am I smelling? And then you find the plant. Well, it's amazing. When
in Connecticut, where I grew up, which is not all that far from where Rochelle is. I mean, it's you know, New England. She's up in Boston and Connecticut, 3-hour drive. But yeah, you know when it's lilac season because you walk outside and you're like, just like you said, you're like, I can smell it. I know it's somewhere. And because we had them all over the place, I wasn't sure which one it was, but you knew that they were coming out. And by the way, as far as, last call on purple, just a few hundred remaining. We live in Florida. We get freezes down here, okay? I lived in Arizona. Do you know, I lived in North Phoenix, near Scottsdale. I woke up one morning in Arizona. It was snowing in the morning. It was 75 degrees that night. We actually got snow in the morning in Arizona. Doesn't happen very often. So most places in the country, you'll be fine with these because, as we said, they do like a little of that shock of cold weather. You should be good anywhere, okay? Here's one. I don't know how close you can get to that, Rebecca. Look at the little tiny, there's little tiny flowers. I'll turn it down a little bit. See them? Look at how adorable. And they are, what's amazing to me, Rochelle, how does something so little create so much scent, right? Look at it.
I know. It is one of those miracles of Mother Nature. I have to agree. You know, I'm just looking at the shot there and looking at this too. I don't know if you know a maidenhair fern. They are like the most alluring plant that you've ever seen in, you know, in the store when you go plant shopping. They have these really dainty, feathery leaves. And I'm just amazed. I'm looking at this, and yours is the same way. This particular variety has a really lightweight sort of feminine leaf. These leaves are smaller and more fluttery than the big ones that I have outdoors. And I kind of really love that. Like, look how pretty that is. Just kind of shimmery, like shimmering a little bit in the movement.
It reminds me.
This is a really gorgeous plant.
It reminds me of our, nice. You know, we sell the shimmering chandelier. It looks like that, right? Little petals, just so real pretty while it blows in the breezes too. So if you want to get it, we are last call on purple. I have about 150 left in purple. I'm still okay in the pink. And remember, they're both going to smell like really only about 800 or 900 left in the pink if you want to get that as well. Hey, did you know that we got tons and tons of stuff on hsn.com, stuff that never even goes to air?